Greetings, Earthlings. A lot of you have been leaving comments on these videos, and just know that I see them all. Good or bad, I appreciate you, because it helps the algorithm. So today we've got 10 commanders that make me want to drink bleach. First we got Tasha the Witch Queen. Do you like playing the cards in your deck? Psych! The fourth of Forgotten Sanderson sister not only likes to dangle your own dismembered limbs in front of you, but she gets to quite literally raise hell as she does it. Being punched in the face by demons is one thing, but it's got a different sting to it when you realize that they're the result of faulty necromancy, where your personal belongings were their tribute. I love demons as much as the next masochist, but it's a bit distasteful when they're being puppeteered by someone who wants nothing more than to subject you to a bad song on a 10-hour loop that just makes you question what ultra-dimensional being you pissed off that day to have to endure such torment. If you play this as your commander, I hope you get splashed by someone in their car. Next we got Ishin, Two Heavens as One. The worst part about this douche is the fact that even though his name implies that he merged heavens, everything that he can subject you to is your own personal hell. Science has proven that two positives don't make a negative, but this guy looked science dead in the face and flipped it off because clearly he can just defy reality. The fact that he can make shit happen out of other players attacking each other might as well be a war crime, because if you're basically a glorified war general, you shouldn't be allowed to excuse yourself. The ire that this armored Mulan villain can draw within me is enough to make me consider hibernating with bears and hope that they don't just notice me or tear me limb from limb like Chewbacca so I don't ever have to be subjected to this ever again. If you play this as your commander, I hope you walk into a tree branch. Next we got Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow. Like being hit by a Ferrari, the rate at which this rooftop scaling dickhead can run you down with expensive shit is enough to make Jeff Bezos blush. The fact that you can just replay her for the same amount of mana is probably a crime in most countries. Commander players already aren't fans of tax evasion, but the fact that she literally comes in like a raging alcoholic is enough to make you question everything and move away to long year bien. Being hit by her is so unassuming because each dagger she stabs you with is laced with botulinum toxin. And that's not even the worst part when you consider that what she just hit you with gets put into her hand so she can just save it for later like an Assassin's Creed wrist blade. If you play her as your commander, I hope the next video you watch has an unskippable ad. Next we've got Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels. I like cats as much as the next necromancer. Hell, mine is just as rad as Chungus there. Naya already has a habit of beefing its creatures that have beef with you, but Scat Cat there feeds them all nip laced with creatine and steroids. Being punched in the face is one thing, but when that fist is the size of a house attached to a giant pussy that's even bigger, you really start to question what mistakes you made in life to bring it to that point. An unassuming field that just morphs into weird creatures from the deepest caverns of your nightmares when something drops in that wants nothing more than to have his cake and eat it too, is one of those things that is comparable to tripping on the rug, but then you're taking out an entire china cabinet with you, so now not only do you have to deal with the stinging of porcelain cuts, but now you made the store owners upset and everyone else have a bad time. If you play this as your commander, I hope your microwave food is cold in the middle. Next we got Kibo, Uktabi Prince. This little... Aw, this, I can't. Psych! This little dirtbag seems unassuming, but he loves nothing more than to give you bananas laced with snake venom and brown recluse spiders. Gruel already loves to run artifact hate, but this little demonistic primate gets such a rush from it as he grows in size and sadistic glee to the painscape he causes by the destruction of anything metalloid in nature. I may be hateful in nature, but I almost can't help but appreciate the sadism behind that smile that wants nothing more than to bathe in blood and oil. The rate at which Banana Boy here can end your demise as the result of destroying artifacts is only comparable to Godzilla. Because you may think the world is out to get you, but you're only a literal footnote in this monkey with the rage of a kaiju rampaging through your city. If you play this as your commander, I hope you run out of toilet paper. Next we got ANS Rag the quake-mole. Back-to-back colors isn't something I normally do, but this limitless earth burrower that doubles as a fucking deity wants nothing more than to curb stomp you multiple times at once. Most multi-combat effects are only a one-time deal unless you're a cheating asshole, but Rufus here laughs in the face of game rules and subjects you to a demise so aggressive that you'll wish you just got suffocated by a pillow or a juicy goth butt. But just like fishnets, all this ground burrowing deity wants to do is trap you in its vicious cycle until you're finally out of its tangled mess and can breathe again. I haven't played many games against this menace yet, but it's definitely one that draws ire as soon as it hits the board because you know you're in for a world of poor life choices and agonizing torment, because you decided that walking face first into a stop sign wasn't enough for that day. If you play this as your commander, I hope you get a nail in your tire. Next we've got Xanthar, Guild Kingpin. Another example of, do I win now or do I make you suffer first? Unlike my last example, this hideously overfeatured Doom enemy wants nothing more than to plant a mind-controlling drone up through your nostril and make you repeatedly punch yourself in the gooch. At least Winifred Sanderson there has some decency as she lets you watch her slap you with your own hands, but Weezing here wants to see it through your own cranium with his own eyes after he rips off your retina, so not only can you not even see your own demise, but this douchebag is gleefully running you into a train. The ire that this tentacle monster draws into my blood is enough to make me consider going to a hospital just so I can tell a newborn that the Easter Bunny isn't real. If you play this as your commander, I hope someone flicks earwax in your food. Up next, we've got AOS God of Passage. This commander is a representation of people who don't know how to let the joke die. Orzhov already loves to harness the power of the undead for their own bidding so they can drain the life out of you like a hybrid of a mosquito and a priest, but when it's a literal god asking for your penance, you really need to start questioning your beliefs and life goals. Seeing something so immense not even be aware of your existence is like visiting an elephant farm, except that elephant isn't cute, stands about 30 feet above everything, and is wearing a loincloth on its face so it can walk around sniffing ball sweat and the tears of the fallen. Resting in peace is really only attainable if you're willing to chop off the tip of your finger, and that's not even mentioning the fact that Orzhov players can benefit from that finger being chopped off by taping it to their forehead like the world's most cursed unicorn that isn't being eaten alive by Voldemort. If you play this as your commander, I hope your butthole gets itchy. Up next, we got Narset Enlightened Exile. If you played back in Tarkir, then you'll understand how annoying Enlightened Master was. I know I do, but this one's almost worse, because what does this pretentious turd and a raccoon have in common? Not being cute trash pandas, that's for damn sure. This dumpster diver wants nothing more than to bolster her cavalcade of puny creatures by digging through not only her own trash, but yours too. Most grave-based decks want to turn trash into treasure, but all this ditch pig wants to do is throw your used banana peels at you. It's like getting bitch slapped by someone after they've farted in their hand, so not only do you get a taste of repetitive open palm strikes, but now you've got pink eye and have to endure the smell of a septic tank. If you play this as your commander, I hope a bee flies in your mouth while you're laughing. And then finally for this steamer, we got marrow-gnawer. Are rats cute? Sure. Are 50,000 rats nibbling at your flesh at a rate that could be comparable to being thrown in a wood chipper? Didn't think so. Krenko? Pfft, move over. Not only can Splinter shit out so many rats that you wonder how much cheese he's storing in his colon, but when it can be the exact same rat times a billion, just like tax evasion, most commander players have an aversion to oceans when you realize that just how much salt this literal gutter rodent can flood you with. And that's not even the worst part when you consider that he forced you to be afraid of them, like your mom telling you that your face will stay stuck if you keep making stupid motions with it. Except, unlike that lying sack of... I'm sorry, Mom, I love you. You have every right to fear the oncoming vitriol of fur and disease. If you play this as your commander, I hope you break a fingernail. Alright, if you didn't like this list, make sure you leave a comment down there telling me how much of a horrible person I am. But if you like this list, make sure you rap that like button and tap that subscribe button. Practice safe gameplay, and I bid thee farewell and misfortune.